Hi, I'm Kim Lopez Gallagher. I'm your professor for Philosophy 101, Art of Wondering. This is our first video commentary, and this is for Module 1, which is on what is philosophy and what is a philosophical question. So, first of all, let's talk about what a philosophical question looks like. And this comes out of the first reading that you will do in this module, which is from the website of the Department of Philosophy from the University of Florida. And so there you'll read a short piece that talks about what is philosophy, and it also talks about what is a philosophical question. So the website states that philosophy is a foundation, well, let me back up. Philosophy deals with foundational questions. So, okay, what does that mean? Foundational questions ask about some fundamental aspect of the world or ourselves or our relation to the world. So these are kind of the big questions of life. And maybe you've thought of some big questions of life during your life. So what are some of these big questions? Well, first, see if you can think of what are some big questions of life that you have considered. And if you think of any, feel free to write them in our coffee shop discussion, which you'll find linked in the homepage of our class, and we can talk a little bit about that. All right. So my big questions are some of the following. And the first one is actually one that is mentioned in your reading, and that is about time. What is time? So have you ever stopped to consider time and your movement through it and how that works? So this is a big question. And then a question that I find very interesting and that we will study in this class is what is the nature of justice? So, and this is a question that I think there are many opinions about. And so in this class, we're going to read a couple of different theories, and we're going to critically evaluate those theories on justice, among many other questions that we'll discuss. Okay, so what about philosophy? Why should we bother to spend time to contemplate these big questions? What do we gain by contemplating these big questions? I like to refer to a quote from one of our founding fathers, John Adams, and he wrote this: "What is philosophy but the study of the world and its cause? Man is a riddle to himself. The world is a riddle to him. He puzzles to find a key, and this puzzle is called philosophy." End quote. So in our class, we will be puzzling and looking for keys to some of these big questions. All right, so going back to what characterizes a philosophical question. This is an exercise actually that you're going to do in this module, Module 1. And in this exercise, you're actually going to write down your thoughts of what characterizes a philosophical question that are based on the reading that you'll do from that website from the University of Florida. Okay, so think about that as you read that, and you'll complete that exercise. Okay, now there are some misconceptions about philosophy. Some people think that philosophy is just sitting around and staring at walls and thinking about one's belly button. But it's actually a lot more than that, and it's actually not that at all. Philosophy involves serious use of your mind and using reason to think about these questions. And so we're going to learn how to use reason in this class. At least we're going to start to learn how to use reason and apply that to the questions that we study. And we'll look at questions from differing philosophical perspectives. And so because of that, be prepared to be challenged in your thinking. And that's really important, to be open to thinking about ideas that are different from what you have accepted as true up until this point in your life. And so allow yourself to maybe even be moved by some of the theories that we consider in this class. And so if a student doesn't have that openness and willingness to be to consider all the different possibilities, then taking a philosophy class is probably not a productive way to use one's time. Okay, so I'm just asking you to be open. I'm not asking you to change your mind or to become anything else than what you are, but just think about these other and different possibilities that are out there for some of these big questions. Okay, philosophy is complex, and at times it's confusing, and it rarely gives concrete answers. In fact, it usually generates more questions. All right, and I know this can be very challenging for some students. And so I'm going to ask you to hang in there and stick with it and um, and just give it a go. Okay. All right. So when you do your readings, take your time and prepare well. We're reading about ancient ideas, in some cases, very old ideas. So it's a good idea to take notes on your reading as you go. Okay, that's it for our first video commentary. I'll see you again in future commentaries, and I'm looking forward to spending the semester with you studying philosophy. Thank you.